transitioning from in-person to online learning. This was something that so many professors experienced, whether they thought they would or not, at the start of the pandemic, when schools and courses were told, sometimes at a moment's notice, that they would need to transition or flip from in-person to online learning. And while this added challenges and stresses across the board, there's also been a lot of learning that's taken place, how this transition can happen, how to implement new activities, new teaching strategies, hybrid models, new tech. And Dr. Caston Anderson Carpenter, being one of the first professors, earliest adopters of Kritik, has a unique perspective using Kritik for his in-person courses, and then being told he needed to flip those same courses to online. And as he shares, he was prepared, and it took him about 10 minutes to make that flip happen from in-person to virtual. So we sat down with him and asked him about what this transition was like, and also just generally what his students gained through peer assessment with Kritik. Let's find out what he says.
The students, they really do act as peer reviewers in a sense. They learn how to give feedback and how to provide feedback to those who are giving them feedback. So it really is a nice loop where they learn from each other, and it's not all about learning from me. My classes are pretty big. My health psychology class is anywhere from 250 students to upwards of 300 students. And so you can imagine that grading all of those assignments can be really cumbersome. But with Kritik, the way it's structured, it really does reduce my grading.
Saving time on grading, on course administration, has benefits for both the professor and students. The professor obviously can manage his time, his schedule better, but also the students will now benefit because the professor has the resources and time to provide more personalized feedback and provide additional support to answer questions and extend learning.
And then on my end, let's say if there's a grade dispute or something like that, or if a student has a question, then I can step in and provide guidance and feedback from that end.
One important point that Dr. Anderson Carpenter shared was that through the peer review process, through peer assessment, all the information isn't just coming from him as professor with that linear relationship. Now students are sharing perspectives and sharing their views with each other, which is incredibly valuable, both from a learning standpoint, having that exposure, but also leads to much higher student engagement as well.
It does increase student engagement, their learning, because they're not getting all the information from me. What I like about Kritik is that it allows students and myself to learn different applications of the health concepts.
There's no doubt that this has been a challenging time and continues to pose challenges to students, educators, and the entire education community. Dr. Anderson Carpenter's perspective, he shows that with the right tools, with the right workflow, we can adapt and adjust to these changing circumstances while still enhancing and improving student learning.